Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a new episode of El Koki Otaku. Today, I know it's been a few weeks I haven't recorded, but today we're back with a special guest with very lovely and very well-known characters, such as Briezadd from Gintama.
Yeah.
I almost said Briezadd.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Please don't.
We don't want copyright here.
No.
And we're going to jump out here with going back again to Gintama from the high school delinquent. We're going to get into this character and very well known series, my dear friend Nokotan. We had the character of Yoshiharu and a few Tosuneda and a couple. So today we welcome Josh.
Hello.
Josh.
How you doing? Onyx, how you doing, brother?
You're good. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank
So
you
far,
Thank you for having me.
no, my pleasure. So far, how do you describe your journey in the anime world?
My journey? Whoa, that's an awesome question. First off, my journey as a voice actor has been wild. It's been crazy, bro. I have, first off, as a fun fact, I have never, besides a podcast I did in Florida Gulf Coast with my friend, I've never really recorded in studio before. Fun fact, never. I am pure remote, brother. I live in Oviedo, Florida. The outskirts, like a suburb of Orlando, Florida, like 10 minutes away from UCF, from college football, basically. And yeah, man, I started in Jacksonville, Florida in 2018. I started it by helping a friend. I didn't really know like what I wanted to do. I thought I was going to be a personal trainer, you know, but I sucked at anatomy, so I just didn't understand like all the body parts. But you know, dude, one thing led to another. My friend wanted to play the Danganronpa series, and I was like, yeah, sure, bro, awesome, fine. And he wanted to get into voice acting as well. Him and I are voice actors together. We live with each other with our other friend. Yeah, it just kind of like steamrolled after that. We met some good friends online. And you know, it's just, you just don't, once you like start that journey as a voice actor, as a voiceover artist, like you're like playing with it a little bit. Maybe you're like, I don't know if I want to get into it. There's like a lot of rejection, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with that. Holy crap. But I was like, you know, I'm having a lot of fun. You know, growing up, I was a very shy kid. I was a very overweight kid. I was like 345 pounds at some point in the 6th grade. Yeah, dude, it was a nightmare. Girls hated me. Girls did not like me. And man, boys loved to make fun of me. I was like, bruh. And I couldn't really express myself. I didn't really know a way to express myself. And the only thing I could really connect to were video games. And, you know, obviously, over time, I made friends, you know, when I was younger and all that. But I didn't really have that, you know, connection of like, how can I express myself, how I feel, and how much I love games, how much I love movies, how much, you know, all that stuff. I got immersed into sports. Sports became very, very personal to me for numerous reasons. But, you know, once I started to go to college and near the end of it, that's when voiceover came. And I'm very happy that I took the jump, went full time with it in 2022. And as cheesy as it sounds, man, as cheesy as it sounds, Onyx, I've just been following my heart with it, man. Just, you know, some people have been saying to me, they're like, you know, you have the means to move, you know, you can move, you can, you know, go to Los Angeles, take the jump out there, even though it's expensive. My friends out there, I don't know how you do it. That's awesome. Keep going. Texas, you can go to Texas, Houston, or Dallas. There are other places too around the world, you know, but you know, this is, you know, I cherish this. It's a real passion of mine. It's turned into a big passion of mine, and you know, I want to handle it with care and do it the right way, whatever that is, you know. And if my heart says it's right, then it's right. And right now, my heart is telling me to stay remote and to take my time with it, to learn, to understand that you're never going to be the teacher. You're always going to be the student. and you're always going to be learning and finding different ways to do different characters. So I feel like to be the best you can be, that's what you have to learn, and that's the path that God. I'm a believer, and I'm not pushing that on anybody else, but that's what I feel like the path God has kind of put me on. So yeah.
Let me ask you, how old are you? Because I saw something on the internet and I was like, wait, really? So
Yeah, I'm 30. I'm 30 years old,
30.
about to be 31. Yeah, and I feel very young. I sound very young. But yeah, dude, I'm 30 years old. Born in 95.
in one page they have you as 21, and I was like, what?
21?
21 here.
My goodness, really? Holy
Yeah,
crud. Hey.
I was so confused last night. Wait, but does the timeline of character doesn't make no? This guy started at 12 years old. Let's kick off with one of your first anime character, Gintama, which your first one was on 2019.
Yeah.
For believe it or not, there's a lot of people who haven't seen yet Gintama. How do you describe this piece of gold anime series?
So Gintama, one of the best pieces of literature and animation ever created. Gintama is it's like if Deadpool made an anime. It is full of fourth wall breaks. It is full of slapstick comedy, which I'm a fan of because I love old school 90s SNL with Chris Farley and David Spade and all them. And it kind of reminds me of that. But there's also, it's funny, Gintama uses the comedy and it covers up the real deep story about it, because Gintoki, the main character, used to be this legendary soldier, this legendary swordsman. And you know, a lot of stuff happened, and I don't want to get into spoilers, but he survives. He survives whatever he goes through, and he just keeps on living life. It's like if you watch an action movie and then you see the hero go through so much crap, and they get away from all that stuff, and roll credits. This is like after the roll credits, basically, for Gintoki, and you see him kind of like chilling, chillaxing, and making this ragtag group of doing odd jobs around the place they're in. So it's a really cool series. It's really funny. I loved it a lot. My friend back then, like 2015, 2016, introduced me to it, and I was like, it'd be so cool to be a part of that one day, because it was one of his favorite animes. Him and his brother loved Gintama and also loved JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I was like, if I can get into one of those two, then that's like full circle. And it was really cool how my friend who was implemented with the studios, Donald, he had the connection to for Gintama, and yeah, it was really cool. It's really awesome. I earned my stripes to get there as well. I just didn't, Donald just didn't get me like off the streets. No, I had stuff prepared. I had, I've been voice acting for a good amount of time at that point, and proved myself to the director. Chris Flores is amazing. He directed us all through Gintama, and yeah, it was pretty awesome. Briezadd, though.
Yes.
Briezadd's like a one-off, bro. It's like he's a parody, and he's also in the video game as an assistant character, which is funny. But I think I can't remember. As an actor, sometimes you forget your performances because you're just on the go. But I think my voice was like this. I didn't want to copy any of the Briezadd voice actors. I didn't want to be like Damon and talk like this all the time, and I can't do Linda Young, because Linda Young is amazing. Like all the voice actors for Briezadd were amazing. But yeah, I couldn't do Linda's voice, but they were like, yeah, just come up with something. I'm like, well, I hope this is fine, But besides Briezadd, I was able to do Walla for the spinoff that just happened. The Gintoki Sensei Zany class that's on Crunchyroll, by the way. That's awesome. I did some Walla for that, the delinquent stuff and everything, and I guess I have to preference too, Onyx, that being remote it can be hard to get anime. I will say, can confirm, bro, can confirm. And you have to like just be careful, but also just like, you may think you have the skill to be like an ultimate side character, or the best friend, or the main hero, or anything like that. And you could have those abilities, but when you're in the Wild West of remote voice acting, it is hard to get noticed. It is hard to prove yourself sometimes, because every hub that I've come in contact with, Miami, Los Angeles, Houston, Dallas, New York, they all have their hubs and their local actors, and that's respectable because I mean, they need those projects done at a fast pace. And if your remote setup does not, match what they need, or something, excuse my language, but fucks up, then they're shit out of water, or whatever that saying is. They're not gonna do the job because of you. So it stinks. You're kind of in the middle, and you have to be respectful and understanding, but it can be painful. And to get the opportunity to even do Walla, man, to even do background voices, it's an honor. It's a blessing, and you have to count your blessings, especially being remote, because you never know when these opportunities are going to come. You have to make the best out of them. You have to make the most out of them, and be diligent and humble about it. I had a good time because we did seasons. Gosh, I know someone's going to correct me maybe, but seasons 3 and 4 of Gintama recently. And that's when I did Kamanashi, the turtle guy, in their Ryugyu. I can never pronounce it. Ryugyu arc. Yeah, Ryugyu arc, I think. And we were also doing Zany class at the same time. And it was, that's just a blessing, because I mean, again, it doesn't happen. And again, you have to prove your stripes, man. You have to be grinding. You have to market yourself constantly, and show that you're working, and show that you're learning, and all that jazz. I've been talking your brain off. Sorry about that, man.
Oh no! Hey, mi casa tu casa, like we say in Spanish. My house, your house. And
let's go.
Also, I acknowledge with you, because something that we learned in the past 4 years. Heads up, I'm not an anime voice actor. I need to study art. I'm an accident here. I had no idea how we met it here.
But I feel that.
Definitely, we learn how the network is strong, and this case happened in the English industry and the Spanish industry. Mexico is way more stronger. That networking person is way stronger. Yeah. But I'm kind of grateful that there's new projects going on where they are bringing new talent voice actor. Yeah. For example, Netflix. I'm going to screw up this series. The flower bloom like something.
Oh man, that's a beautiful anime. I know what you're talking about.
Beautiful. And when I check the cast, the English cast, I only recognize one for first, which is Robbie as the main character. But the rest, they're not very. I mean, I might be wrong. They're not very popular yet in anime. So I'm like, that means they're bringing new talent, which is always opportunity to grow.
That's good. This industry needs that. I mean, this industry needs new talent to come in, and the older talent, to keep working, because they've earned their stay. You can't disrespect that. But the new, a new guard needs to come in to help push along the industry. And I feel that's just how business is done. That's just how the train keeps moving. Because, I mean, if you keep the same people over and over again, I don't know. People would have mixed reactions. Right. Some people would love it. I mean, I love Johnny Young Bosch. I love all the stuff he does. I wish he was in more right now. But there's a lot of newer, Alex Lee is kicking ass. Zach Aguilar has been kicking ass. Both of them have been kicking ass. And there's, Ryan Colt Levy, like Chainsaw Man. Come on, all these other voice actors that I'm not even listing, that I feel bad about not listing. It's like, They've been here, they've been grinding for, whether it be 5 years or 10 years, and there's new actors coming up. And it's just cool to see that train keep moving, And I gotta say, for me, I'm just blessed to be a little smidge in it. I would hope, on my path that I can earn and create my way to be on that type of level. But whatever happens, as Spike Spiegel says.
Right. And voice acting and acting, which voice acting comes from acting.
Yeah.
Many people underestimate, and I was guilty of that, how that this is an area where you need to keep evolving, studying nonstop. Yeah. Every day, it's not like you just graduate, get a certificate, and I'm an actor. No. That doesn't work. It might work only for a few weeks and months, and then you're done. You already need to you're obsolete. You need to get new skills and from new people. So it's a very interesting area. And I had to add, I'm excited. I'm so happy that I might be shooting here. I'm not going to name the industry. One industry tried to use AI to replace voice actor, and that was an epic mess. It was
Amazon.
What a mess.
Amazon, man. Amazon.
I couldn't believe it. They did it.
I don't know how the heck they actually did that without giving consent to the dubbing studios that dubbed those animes. No Game No Life, Vinland Saga, and Banana Fish. And people love Banana Fish because of the representation it gave too. It's beautiful, but like, how can you not give consent? And it's funny because Amazon was kind of going strong there with their original like animations, not using that crap, kind of being a good, maybe I'm missing something here that's happened in history, but like being a good outlet for a lot of indie shows that are growing and becoming something more, going up the steps, it gave a lot of people more of a pedestal, or not a pedestal, a platform right, to put their shows on. But then you do something like that, like, dude, why? Money?
So outside podcast and anime on my real life work, which I'm not going to say what exactly I do in real life here, but one of my areas specialized on risk management. When I saw this, thinking from a risk management aspect, it doesn't make any sense. I can't freaking understand whoever was thinking on this. Like, they would not, even if you have the best AI director, it doesn't make any sense. For me, I have no clue. I have no clue, because this movement, it wasn't good enough to throw it over there. And you throw it like this, you piece off everybody. And if there was already resistant people who didn't believe or doesn't believe in AI, and some people thinking about it, now you give the risk, you give the picture. Oh no, don't believe it at all. So unless it was sabotage against AI voice acting, that somebody like, hey, you know what, I want to kill this monster, right? Let's throw it. That's the only reason it makes sense. Because otherwise, as a Amazon person who want to make revenue, and I'm going to replace doing the movement, is bigger than shooting yourself in the leg. You just hang off yourself. It didn't make sense. From a risk management perspective. But going a little bit more, like going back to anime, more happy sense. So it's really rare when animes come back after many years, and Gintama is one of those experiences where from 2019 we're back on 2025. Right now it's one of the Crunchyroll winter's fall season, 2025 fall season, a premium series. So how's the experience from recording 6 years ago and now being back to the same series?
Well, for me personally, and I totally, you can definitely edit this out or anything like that if you need to. I did not preference this before. I did not record with the original cast from 2019, 6 years ago. I came about 2 years ago or one. It's been so long. There's been a lot that's happened. But I came back or came with them seasons 3 and 4 and did Zany class. I will clarify though one thing. I will clarify something because the talent in Miami, the handful that did Gintama, they're awesome. They're great individuals. They perform very well. I just saw one of their Rainer Gabriel, one of the voice actors. He did this show called 39 Steps. and the theater crowd is wild in Miami. They're very talented. That's a side note. But they had to record seasons 1 and 2 in 2019. I was not there. They had a deadline of doing 10 episodes in 1 week. That is insane. Insane, brother. That is like, if I was a lead, if I was Gintoki, Rolly's awesome. If I had done what he had to do, oh man, it would have been bad. And I see on the comments how some people like dogged on that dub. And I was just like, well, you probably wouldn't know because you don't know like the inside, some of the actors. Fortunately, I do. And I will say that they only had like 10, they only had a week. Granted, now I think, the studio gave them more time. They gave them more, more leeway. And seasons 3 and 4 was incredibly better. So, I think they were just experimenting with how fast they could get it done with this studio in Miami. And they did it. But I think with anything, video games, narration, anything, if you rush it, it's not going to sound good. And no dubbing actor is going to probably sound that decent when you're rushing, because dubbing can be hard, man. You got to be patient with yourself. I was just watching this segment actually with Britt Baron, who's the voice of Tifa Lockhart in Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, and she was saying how they had to dub the animation, I believe, in the video game because it's Japanese. And it took like one line. I think it was a simple line too, like just a clear sentence. I think it took her like 20 tries because that's dubbing. Every actor can struggle with that. It's not like prelay where you can just go all out, go buck wild basically. But yeah, man. Yeah.
And I hear from you're not the first person. One of my last guests in Spanish, he was saying, I can't remember his name in the series. He explicitly said that one of these series is one of his biggest regrets because they also got a timeline ridiculous short. And he mentioned that they spent a whole week, many times they were like 18 hours in the studio. So they were just sleeping, living in the studio. And it was like a ridiculous mission.
Yeah.
And at the end, when he saw the product, I'm like, yeah, this is not make justice because the other voice actors were before us. They have more time. Now we have only ridiculous. So yeah, the industry, guys, the anime industry is way complicated. Many people just, it's huge. Is that we need like another full podcast, full series of anime industry and how fast it evolved. And going back to industry, so Josh, how do you make it to the anime voice world?
How did I make it in there? For me, oh man. So, I was working a desk job at my old college, and I had come in contact with Donald Guzzi and Rolly. They were Gintoki, and I can never get Donald's character's name right. He's probably gonna get mad at me for saying that. Takasugi, the main villain of the whole series. And I saw them do this scene. They fan dubbed it, but of course it's like funny. They're their main actors, but they fan dubbed a scene from a season that they haven't done before. And so they did that, and I came in contact with them because I saw that on Twitter. And I reached out. By this point, I had about 3 years experience. I had been going at it hard, especially the third year. And I reached out to Donald. And apparently, it's funny how time works because at that time he was opening up his talent roster. And I did enough to get in. And it was hard at first because dubbing was such a new, thing to learn. He was very, him and some other directors were very patient with me. And as time went on, we were able to do some animations, do a lot of live action dubbing, which is really hard at times. But after a few years, that's when Gintama came in. We also, with another studio in Miami, we also did a variation of Captain Tsubasa, which made it to Junior TV, and I believe that's in Brazil. We did that. So if anything, that was technically my first introduction to anime, doing the different version of Captain Tsubasa. That was cool. But my real one was Gintama. I believe. Yeah, Gintama. There a little bit of Gintama, and then the one after that was Nokotan. My dear friend Nokotan.
And this one is not anime, but we need to mention it because I still cannot believe what you told me. So many of us, millennials especially, we grew up when cell phone wasn't that big powerful.
Mm-hmm.
There was a character very funny called Tom. So you're the voice of Tom? That funny cat?
Yeah, I'm the voice of the cat. I'm the voice of Talking Tom. We did the video game My Talking Tom Friends 2, released on mobile, not too long ago. People love it. It just came out. I believe they announced an update where the character Ginger was coming. So that's really cool. And yeah, hopefully I'm praying to God that I get to do more with Tom. But right now we just did the game, hoping for more. That would be really cool. Hoping for more. Fun fact, I will say though, Onyx, I did not know how big Tom was until I looked him up. I booked that role, and if you want, I can even tell you the story about how that happened.
Go for it, because I'm in shock here. With Tom,
right.
Because for those who also know what the hell these millennials are talking about, Gen X or younger, when iPhone was kind of new and we were leaving the razors, the flip phone, going to the full screen,
Yep.
Android was getting to the market of apps. And by the way, guys, yeah, Android wasn't that popular yet. You had to download this through Samsung's app.
Samsung, yeah.
So if it was with your friend, damn, I feel old. Download these apps. And through this app store, which was not only Google Play Store or Apple Store, wherever it's Apple Store, you can download this funny app, Tom. And everybody started downloading it because it was technology, it was the future. It was almost the AI of back then, where you had this funny cat, you abuse the poor cat reading well, or slap it with your touchscreen, which just new, and he speak back to you. So you were that voice of that Tom?
I wasn't the voice of that Tom of the app. He never really had a voice. I mean, I'm all for I'm human voices,
right.
Yes. But I think they did like voice like handlers or whatever it's called.
Right.
Maybe they had a voice actor back then and did it for the app, but they've had numerous voice actors for Tom over the years. The biggest one is Colin Hanks. I didn't know that Colin Hanks voiced Talking Tom in Talking Friends, the show that was out back in like 2010 to 2015 or something like that. But yeah, he's had a good handful of voice actors, and it's just funny this year. Like, I wasn't expecting, a lot. Yeah, it just happened, man. If you want the story,
go for it
now,
please.
So, it's gonna get a little deep. Is that fine? It's gonna get a little deep, a little emotional.
Oh,
I won't cry.
See.
I won't cry.
Where are my napkins here?
I won't cry, bro. I won't cry. Don't worry. So, entering this year, I was wanting to. I made it kind of a goal to, I want to get my first big lead in something. It doesn't have to be anime. I know my situation. I want to respect my situation. Like, there's not a lot of anime dubbing studios in Orlando at all. There's nothing. And in the video game world, you need to be in Los Angeles. You need to learn mocap. You need to learn all that stuff. I was like, how am I going to pull this off? And the reason why I wanted to do it is, wanted to do it for my mom. I've mentioned her a lot in a lot of the podcasts that I've done, but it's just on my heart. It's been over a year. She unfortunately passed last year in September, and I wanted to make this year kind of, while for the rest of my life I'm going to honor her name, honor her memory. I wanted this year to be kind of like, the clap back. You know what I mean? Kind of like, you ain't gonna let that hold you down, brother. Nah, we ain't like that here, kings. Nah, we ain't doing that, kings and queens. But I was like, how am I gonna do that? How am I gonna pull that off? And there's this client that Centauro was getting, and it was Outlet 7. And they were wanting to dub this game or do this game. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what that is. I didn't know it was Outlet 7 at the time. But I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do these auditions, yada, yada, yada. I didn't get Ben. I didn't get, a lot of the characters out of the group of friends that he has. But then they were like, we want to give you a shot at this character. His name is Tom. And he loves his friends. He's very caring, and he just wants the best for them. At the time, this is back in April or May. I was still mourning. It's been really hard, brother. I've had lash outs. I've been, when you're going through it, it can get hard. It can get hard. You're not yourself.
Right.
You can get angry. You're very on edge, and I haven't been the most perfect this year. Can confirm. My closest friends that I've had for 16 to 15 years, who I live with, can say like, but I want to, when the director, because how we did the audition was, it was the director and his assistant directors and my engineer / director. So a lot of directors in that room. And then we had another actor in there as well. And I just wasn't clicking with them. I wasn't clicking. I was doing too much of I was giving too much energy and trying to level with the other character that was in the scene. And the director kind of like stopped, and he's just like, lower it down. Like, he is, again, Tom is very caring. He's not trying to outdo people. He's not trying to, to be showy. He loves his friends, and he wants the best for them. He'll sit them down. He'll be what he needs them to be. What he needs, he's whatever he, I don't know how to explain it very well, but he's just a good friend. He's just a great friend. And I got emotional while he was explaining it. I was muted. You can't see me. I didn't have a webcam on or anything. I was actually crying. In the session. I was crying in the session. Because, when I was younger, my friends, they would always say like, you're happy-go-lucky, you always love to support everybody, and quite frankly, Onyx, like this year, I just felt like I lost it. I just lost that, because I lost my mom, and a lot of stuff has happened that I'm not going to mention, and it's just like, man, you're angry all the time. All you want to do is just, do this and that, and you're not even having fun anymore, and you're not being really nice to your friends. And when the director said all about, described Tom, it reminded me of the talks that I've been having with my friends recently about he's still there. That old kid is still there. He's just tired right now. He's had a lot happen to him. He's still there. And man, hearing that description, I was just like, just be yourself. Just be how you used to be. And my mom, my mom knew the best about my, how much insecurity I had as a kid, being picked on for being fat and, failing school. That was terrible. And, she's like, just always be yourself, no matter what. Life will get better. Your friends will be there. Just don't stop being yourself. And I did that audition. I did it. I was like, I'm going to bite my tongue, but I'm going to act like how I used to in high school. And I booked it. And I was like, holy shit. I guess he is still there. I get emotional kind of talking about it because it's, it's a connection to my mom. It's a connection to my friends. It's two things that what make up me. And it shows that, I am worth a shit, and it was just me being myself, so.
Oh, thanks for sharing that. And this is one of those beautiful stories that happen behind the mic.
Yep.
And people saying hear about it. I mean, doesn't witness until somebody shared it. And that's something that one of those beauty I learned to appreciate in this industry. Voice actors share this experience. Many times, I'm going to get a little bit deeper here, but many times we have voice actors that they're no longer with us. Yeah. For us, for many people, they're just voice actor. But for the industry, they're friend, coworker, family, brother. Even though they have the same blood, share the same blood, and sometimes there's a lot of story that I feel like you can write books about behind the mic, and people will be surprised how big is the world. And talking about big world, one world that they did not have any limit at all is my dear friend Nokotan. But you're the character of Yoshiharu. Go crazy, go fun. Damn, okay.
Fuck.
You're in the bar with friends. They don't watch anime. How do you sell this series for those who haven't seen? For those guys that are like, yeah, you have to see it.
Bro, it's a deer girl. Watch. It's a deer girl and her deer followers. Watch that shit. You're gonna love it. Do it. That's how I say it.
And it might not make sense.
No.
But do it.
Yeah, but do it, dude. It's wild. It's brain rot. It's something that you watch when you turn off your brain. And
right. I want to say that.
Yeah, and it's quick. It's only 12 episodes. Right now, currently, the manga artist is still writing the series, and it's still ongoing. So I think they're at, I could be wrong, issue 7 now that they're working on. I know 6 is out maybe in Japan, but it's really popular in Japan. I will say, the heat has died down here in the United States, but over in Japan, brother, that's still popular. It's still big. But it's a crazy show, man. It is. Deer girl comes out of nowhere, starts to like attach herself to Koshitan. I'm like, what is this? And then like slowly but surely the Deer Club gets member after member, and there's like this one group, like the student council, that's just like, who is this bitch? Gosh, who is she? And then they start loving her, and it's just, some of them already had loved her, but like, it's just love hate, and it's like love, this like, but I don't know. It's just crazy.
I thought I had to understand everything, and when I watched episode 1, I'm like, I'm getting lost trying to get, and by episode 2, I'm like, okay, I understand. I don't need to understand. Just
you don't need to
sit down.
No, bro.
Enjoy. That's
Enjoy. Just take in the rot, bro. Do it.
For real. And how do you describe Yoshiharu?
Yoshiharu, so it's hard because like he's technically a minor character. He appears in a few episodes near the middle to end. He makes his first appearance in episode 7, shows up for the damn the track episode, which is funny. And then the boxing episode at the end. In the manga, he shows up a little bit more in the later issues, which is pretty cool. But as Shiharu's brother, Shiharu is a part of the student council. He is I believe he's the owner. I have to look up the wiki, but we didn't go too much in depth, of course, with the lore in the series. I'm just going to call him the owner of the Swallow Cafe. That's the cafe that he's the barista of. And, he's very proper. He's just very, he wants to look elegant with everybody that comes into his cafe because he is the best. Yeah. And then when Nokotan and Koshitan come in, it just goes straight to hell. It just goes straight to hell, brother. It's wild.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those series that you really it's a come back from work tired, exhausted from study. You need to take a break. It's your series. Just sit down and
just watch an episode. It's like, I think as time passes, because there was a lot of hype with it, and it died down. It's gonna have to like go through that period, and then people will be really nostalgic over it. It does definitely fall under the daily life of schoolboys. What's another one? Goodness, I'm blanking on the name of this anime. Not K-On! That's a music anime. Lucky Star, stuff like that. Like the daily life stuff. It falls under that big time. I do hope for a season 2. That would be awesome. And for me personally, I will tell you another quick story. If you want. If not,
yeah.
So running out of time. You want it? You want it?
Of course.
Hell yeah.
You wanted to offer something and hide it later. Oh, I sent it for you.
Oh, I appreciate it. Okay. So with Nokotan, it's very special to me. Because, and I gotta preference this. When you're remote, you don't get a lot of anime. You don't get a lot of chances. It's the Wild West out here in the remote world. And you don't want to sell yourself short. You never want to do that. And it's crazy because again, Donald from working in Miami had this connection, and this, I think it's this studio in Brazil was dubbing an anime given to them from a distributor in Japan. And Donald messaged me last year around March and was like, hey, we got this audition for an anime. I don't know if it's a scam or not, but I think we should do it because it does look legit. To me, it does. And I'm like, all right, sure. We got to know the studio more, the clients more. They're legit. We looked them up. They've done anime, especially in Portuguese. And we were like, okay, what is this anime? While we're doing the audition, we're like, oh my gosh, it's that meme that's going around. It's the freaking blonde chick and the deer meme. What the? It's like, okay, bet, fine, all right. And in my auditions, the first one was the deer. And the director's like, you're going to be Sonoda. You're going to be the deer. And I'm like, you're talking about the deer that the fucking blonde chick is dancing with? And I'm like, she's like, yeah, go ham, basically. And, booked that. And then later on, booked Yoshiharu. 2 points. So it's like, my mom was a barista in Jacksonville. She was one of the best. People loved seeing her. And, at the time when Nokotan came, I was burning my ends, brother. It was 2024, and I knew it was coming. I knew time was ticking. Mm-hmm. And, I was experiencing a dry spell at the beginning of 2024. I was very frustrated. A lot of stuff wasn't popping off. Mom's health was going down, very much down. And I was like, if I could book just one to send her off with, that'd make it worth it. And, Nokotan came and we booked it. And it's funny, the character that I booked, Yoshiharu, is a barista, just like her. And it's funny how God works sometimes, brother. It's life is strange. Life is very strange. And I'm glad that she was able to see that before she passed. Just to show that I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be fine. And this is just, the very small beginning. You're just getting a glimpse. but I'm glad you were able to see the beginning. That's how I was, you know. And yeah, Nokotan means a lot to me. Nokotan means a ton to me. Yeah.
It scared me for a second. I thought you were going to say, I want to give something for her. And the one I got was a deer. So I
Was it
told her.
a deer?
My teacher's a deer. But then we had Yoshiharu.
We got Yoshiharu. Yeah, thank goodness. You know, I like Sonoda, but it's funny how Yoshiharu came into my plate, and being one of, if not the best barista in Jacksonville at the time, at some point in her life, and me booking that, it was a good testament. And you know, I'm glad that she was able to see that, you know. So
before we wrap it up, I need to throw you this question. From your character you have so far, from the high school, Gintama, the high school delinquent, or Briezadd, Briezadd,
yeah,
Yoshiharu, and the deer, which character do you think it deserves an audible book of the life of this character, and how would that audible book be?
Oh man, it's Yoshiharu, big time. You can do a lot with him. His outside, he's elegant and proper. Inside, he's just all over the place. He's a mess, man. It's like, honestly, it's like me, because I'm a very I could be high strung when I get anxiety, and I can talk really fast, and I can be, you know, like, oh my gosh, why is this happening? Oh my gosh, you know, that sort of stuff. And that's how he is. He definitely would be funny. I could sell that hard. That would be super funny.
There's an idea with it.
You know what? I'll throw in Talking Tom in there too. I'll be like, what is this freaking cat doing talking to me right now in my cafe? And Talking Tom's like, oh, I'm just here with my friends. Yay.
And in the cafe, you have the most juicy stories. It is like the bartender glass of God. You have the best story. That's where the tea get poured.
It's one of those. Brandy, it's been one of those days. Let me get you actually an old fashioned. I got you.
In this case, in the morning, here you have a latte, double espresso, because you need it. Josh, thank you so much. For those who haven't followed you yet, which social media can they follow you?
Absolutely. So people can follow me at Josh Portillo VO on Instagram, and then on Twitter, X, it's a weird username. It has my alias that I came up with whenever I first got into voice acting. It's at all lowercase Josh _ SAITOGAMI. Yeah. Yep. Josh _ Saitogami.
So you got lost, just like me. Just go down to the description of this video, expand the description. Right over there, you'll find the link to those social media.
Yes.
One click and you're there. And like always, guys, we humbly ask you to just follow, subscribe, share our social media, YouTube, the main one, and all you can find all social media except Twitter. All except Twitter. Wait, I will never call it X, Twitter.
Yeah. Twitter.
So,
Twitter.
Josh, thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, Onyx. Thank you for having me.
I will see you guys in the next episode. Sayonara.